Welcome to Real Leaders with Roshini, the podcast with real talk, real questions, real insight, and we hope real inspiration. For real. We're at Capitol Grill in downtown Minneapolis, and my guest today is Heather Brown, co-host of Mid-Morning and Good Question reporter for WCCO-TV. Heather, thanks for being with me.
Oh my gosh, it's such a pleasure. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time now.
You've had a full day already, and here you are chatting with us, so we want to unwind with you.
Yes.
What is your favorite way to unwind?
Reading a book.
Wow.
Sitting down, peace and quiet. Nobody's touching me. I'm reading a book, preferably outside where it's kind of toasty warm, and just taking it all in.
And when you say just that solitude, because you're a busy wife, a busy mom of three, a busy worker for the TV station. I mean, you have a busy life.
Right. And working at the TV station, too, there's always sound. There's always chatter going on. And when I can get to a place where there is some silence and some peace, that's really where I feel most comfortable.
What's your advice to people for finding that quiet space?
And it took me a while to figure this out, but it was really about prioritizing time for me. I have 3 small children. I have a husband. I have a full-time job, and life can get kind of busy. And my husband and I have talked about this a lot, of finding time to prioritize working out, and not working out because, you want to be all buff, but you want to feel good about yourself that day, and also prioritize just having some time maybe with your own friends, but also having some time where you can just have a little peace. You can go outside, you can take a walk, you can plant a flower, you can read a book. And it really helps my mental health. And I think a lot of busy people find it hard to figure out when that time is, and you almost have to schedule it in advance.
One of my favorite lines that I heard, and I coach this with my clients, is no is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm. I don't have to give you a reason why I'm saying no. I always feel like I do, and most of the time I do, but sometimes it's just no. Sometimes that's, I'm tired. I just want to curl up in my jammies and watch a show, and sometimes that's okay.
How are your kids with you either saying no or having that solitude, those moments of solitude for yourself?
Oh, Roshini. No kids like to be told no. They don't like to be told no when they ask for candy for the 17th time. But I've also talked with them, all 3 of them really, about honey, we are going to play, and here's the time where we're going to play, and we're going to color, and we're going to paint, and we're going to go for a walk, and we're going to go to the park. But right now, mommy needs to do this. Mommy needs to finish her run, or mommy needs to, whatever it is. And they understand, okay, mom needs to do that. I'm going to go off and kind of play on my own, do my own thing, and then we'll all get back together.
So they're also learning some independence.
I'm trying to encourage them to learn it. Sometimes they don't like it when I do that, but it's part of the learning process, and I'm hoping it's a lesson that they'll take on later, is that, look, it is okay to see your parents sort of take care of themselves, but always know that I'm going to go back to them. I'm always going to be there and make time for them, but they need to give some space too.
You have been the Good Question reporter at WCCO-TV for many years now.
6 years. We just came on 6 years.
Congratulations.
I know.
Is there ever a question that you get that you're just like, I don't want to go there?
So it's interesting. We get a lot of questions, and so many questions. I mean, dozens sometimes each day. And so I can't answer all of those questions. Some questions come in as more statements or more opinions, sort of under the guise of a question. And sometimes I can take little nuggets out of that and sort of separate out what the opinion is from there. But there are many questions, unfortunately, that you're right, I just cannot get to. But we do try and tackle difficult topics. A lot of questions we've done, one of the big one has been in the news, has been about immigration. We've done a lot of immigration good questions. We will be doing today a story about sentencing for people who have been convicted of felonies. So we do dig into some of the sort of heavier topics, but then we also get a chance to, keep it lighter and do some more fun stuff.
Which is fun. Has there ever been any that have really pushed you out of your comfort zone?
Yes. Why do baseball players spit? That is so far out of my comfort zone because I am the furthest least thing, however you even say it, from being an athlete. So this was me spending part of the days with the Twins baseball players in the dugout. It was one of Justin Morneau's last days as a Twin, and we're sitting there and we're spitting out sunflower seeds, and I'm thinking, what the heck am I doing?
Did you spit with them?
I sure did. And I'm not good at it. And they laughed at me and we put that all in the story. But I thought, if I get to do this some days, this is a pretty fun job.
I didn't see that good question.
Oh, it's really
Why
something.
do they spit? I'll have to look that up.
You will. I'm going to send it to you.
All right. People will have to look that one up.
Wow. WCCO.com/good question.
All right. I love it. I love it. You also are very proud of the fact that you have a blended family.
Yes.
What has that meant for you and your husband? And, why are you so proud of that?
Sure. I am lucky enough to be a bonus mom to a wonderful 9-year-old little boy. Also biological mom to a 5-year-old and 3-year-old little girls. And obviously my husband is there too, as well as my bonus son's mom. She's a big part of our life. And I'm very grateful that she is. I'm grateful that she's there. I'm grateful that all of us get along. I'm grateful that all of us really have made an effort and have worked hard to get along and worked hard to make sure that our 9-year-old is put first. My husband's been out of town for work for the past couple of days. She took my 5-year-old this morning when I had to get to work. I just dropped her off there. She fed the kids breakfast. She took them to school. And to me, that's pretty incredible. And I am grateful for all of us.
Isn't that great for the kids?
To do that. I think it's great for the kids. And I think I've known our 9-year-old since he was 1. And so he doesn't know his life without me. And I'm appreciative that his mom is so gracious towards me. But I also am cognizant that I'm not the biological mom. There are some boundaries, and all 3 of us, me, Joe, and Clarice is her name, are all very communicative about those things. And if I have a question or she has a question, I think at this point we've gotten to the point where we feel comfortable enough to bring up difficult conversations and talk about them. And I let some things that the bio parents handle and then other things that I can handle.
And I know you're not looking for a pat on the back about that, but I'm really proud of you that you are able to do that. Yeah. And, I see pictures on your Instagram feed, and it makes me smile every time that this is this fabulous family and the adults get along first, and that empowers the kids to get along with all the adults, to be great siblings to each other.
Yeah. And it's certainly not just me. Joe has been amazing in his support of me, in his support of his son, even his support of his ex-wife. And she's been so gracious towards me too. And so it's all 3 of us kind of working together there and getting to this point. It took a while to get there. It wasn't all roses all the way along. And sometimes you still hit bumps in the road, and that's okay. All families do that, and we consider ourselves just one big family. And we talk about that a lot. We talk about, even with the 2 littlest ones, we talk about how Clarice is part of our family. They're very excited because Clarice just got a dog, and the dog is now part of our family. So.
Which is all great.
Right.
Well, my guess is all the kids are excited about one of your goals for the year, which is to watch every Star Wars movie.
So my husband and my son are huge Star Wars fans, and I never got into it, but they talk about it all the time. They talk about the movies, they talk about the characters. They've gotten the 2 little ones into it, and I just feel really lost. And so before the next movie comes out, that's my goal. Before the final movie comes out, I think it's December, I need to get all these movies in. I need to get on the same page so I can be included in the family again.
Well, the neat thing for you is that you will start from the beginning. See, the rest of us who are Star Wars fans started in that middle trilogy. Right. You get to start from the beginning, and a lot of things will make sense. Yeah, I think you should.
You don't think I should start at episode 4 and then do it how everybody else did?
I actually think you should start at the beginning. morning.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do, because you have to have some sense, right?
Yes, I've seen parts of the first one.
Right.
So I know who Luke Skywalker is.
Right.
I know who Han Solo is.
Right.
So I have a little idea, but the new characters, I'm not
what
so...
I think would be, and this is just my opinion, you've got to ask the guys what they think, is that you get it in a chronology that George Lucas actually did right. Yeah. And that you are a storyteller. I think you might appreciate that.
So the first one I'll see is with Jar Jar Binks. Is that right?
Yes, which is the most annoying part of that movie. But every other part, Natalie Portman's amazing. All those other things are really quite good.
I'll run it by Joe and Liam and see what they have to say.
See what their opinion is about that. You are, your profession has been a news reporter. You went into this special franchise with Good Question. And then you also became a co-host of Mid-Morning, which is more of a talk show.
Yeah.
Is it, because you are such a solid and journalistic news reporter, has it been hard to sort of almost have a different hat where you can share more opinions and you're really sharing your lifestyle, and it's a talk show?
For sure. It absolutely is. We interview guests. Most of the show there's news in the show, but a lot of it there is a component in the show, a whole block of the show where we use talkers, where we talk about topics, but we also interview guests. That was a huge learning experience for me. Huge, more than I even thought it would be, making that transition from reporter to anchor. I think a lot of people look at anchor people and say, oh, you know what, it's just getting up there and reading the teleprompter. It's so much more than that. And even I didn't understand what that meant until I started doing it. I am lucky enough to work with two really great TV folks, Jason DeRusha and Matt Brickman, and they've taught me a lot. And I go back to this idea of communication, where I always have open lines of communication with them. Hey, what do you think about that? Did I do that? Why? Okay. That really, we knocked that one out of the park. That wasn't such a great show. What went on there? But it's learning a different way of communicating, and it's been a very valuable tool, I think, for me, and it's something I'm still doing. I've been doing it for about a year now, and it's really been a rewarding experience.
We've got to talk about the wardrobe.
Oh, yeah.
How do you, people probably comment, you can't wear the same thing, ever.
Right. So I just learned, it was a couple years ago, about Rent the Runway. I don't know how many of your female friends do this, but I have started to see more and more do this. Rent the Runway is a rental business where you can actually just rent clothing from them. You sign up for it. You say, hey, these are the dresses that I want. They mail them to you in a bag. You wear them, you put them back in the bag, and you send them back. And they have what's called an unlimited subscription. I sound like an ad for Rent the Runway right now, but they have an unlimited subscription where I can get dresses and I wear them and I send them back, and then they send me more. So I pay a monthly fee, but I don't have to go shopping anymore.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Time saver.
And I get all kinds of new clothes that are sent to me, and I really don't have to wear the same things twice. Yeah. So it's a huge time saver for me, and I'm not a big shopper, so this is sort of ideal right now.
What is your advice to busy parents out there?
I think for me and my husband, it's taking the time for each other and making sure that we connect each day in some part, and then each week really take a longer chunk of time to connect, because you get caught up in what you're doing day in and day out. You get caught up with the kids, you get caught up with work, and a whole day can go by and you haven't talked to the person that's the most important person in your life. And I think we went through a phase of that, and we both then realized, this is not going well for us. Let's figure out how we can connect, and we are working hard on that. And it's better for all of us. It's better for our marriage. It's better for our children. It's better for, I think, probably me as a person and just being out in the world. And that can mean just 10 minutes of talking each night. It can mean connecting on the phone. It can mean going away for a weekend, whatever it is, that you can really go back to that partner, kind of your rock, that person that really supports you, and make sure that they understand that you are there for them and they are there for you.
I like it. Along those lines, so communication's important, time together. How do you and Joe keep it sexy?
Yeah,
because now you got 3 kids.
He would be horrified.
That's how we're getting real, Heather. We're getting real.
Well, part of it, like I said, you got to go away sometimes. 3 kids, they like
get
to
out of the house.
They like to come up to the room quite a bit. So you got to find the time to just, mom and dad are going away for a weekend. And that's the nice part, is that we have family here that can help us. We sometimes just bring my parents in so the 2 of us can just get away, even if it's for a weekend or just for a week, going away with friends, wherever it is. And that makes it a lot easier.
All right. And a really just funny factoid. You are deathly afraid of mice.
Oh my gosh. They're so tiny, and some people think they're so cute, but you even said that and I get the shivers.
Yeah, I can see it.
I do. I can handle everything but mice. Oh, and rats are even worse.
I don't like rodents either, but you're deathly afraid.
Oh my gosh. The other day, it was over the winter, this really cold winter, and we live in a very old house, so apparently we had some holes in our house, and I was changing the garbage in the kitchen, and I pick up the bag, and I see a mouse in there scurrying. I screamed so loud. Joe thought that I had just severely injured myself. I think the neighbors probably heard it, and I must have jumped halfway across the kitchen. It was just insane and unreasonable and irrational. I get it, but I don't know what to do about it.
Right. I mean, you're human. You're human, right?
Right.
All right. We are in Capitol Grill,
yes.
a place that is known for cocktails and wine, spirits.
And delicious tea they have here too. Yes. It's so good.
If you were one of those beverages.
Oh, an alcoholic beverage or just a beverage? Because I've heard you ask this of other people, so I felt like I needed to come in prepared on that.
All right,
one.
let's go.
So I would definitely be tea if I was non-alcoholic. I love tea. I love all kinds of tea. I love that fancy tea, this cool white peach tea here. But if I was an alcoholic beverage, probably a glass of rosé. Rosé to me just signifies summer, relaxing, spending times with girlfriends. It just feels like a fun time.
It is a
right?
really good. Yeah,
I know you
agree.
I know you
rosé all day, babe. I absolutely agree with you. I know you're an avid reader. Is there a book that our listeners must read before the year ends?
I just read Where the Crawdads Sing. Oh my gosh, that book was so good. Also, another one that I finished within the past couple months was Educated by Tara Westover. A little bit disturbing at times, but also very good. It's about this young woman who grows up in Idaho, essentially off the grid with her family, and it's her journey to eventually get towards an Ivy League education. But that was a very powerful book. Those are probably the 2 best books that I've read so far this year.
All right. Well, Heather, we wish you more reading, more good reading in quiet, sunny places.
I just picked up another one at the library, so I'm all set for the summer. So
you have so much fun with those books and that rosé and that great family of yours. Thanks for being with us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Until next time, keep it real.